out of the room, everybody's doing whatever. What we've done, in the other schools is even the first and second graders, is just have a discussion with them, listen to your teacher. We would go in their uniform and do this, okay?
I can just think of a couple of shy ones off the top of my head who would, their first instinct would not be to run, but would be.
Okay, and that's a great discussion for the teachers to have, and we can come in and do the same thing. We can talk to them without scaring the bejesus out of them, as best as we can. There's no ranks and this other stuff, but just to talk to them. But we've gone into the middle schools and the high schools, those kids have a plan of what they're already going to do. We actually have to rein them back a little bit.
Yeah,
It is true.
it is. The middle school boys are ready to protect.
Yep,
They are ready to defend and protect. They run out with the sticks.
yeah. But, I mean, we can come into your classrooms and we can have a little discussion with them to make sure that they listen to the teachers. Teachers are mom, teachers are dad, they're the ones in charge during the day. And we've done it with the other schools too.
Tell you, we did at Fairbanks, we did a tabletop during lunch period with the middle school and with the high school kids. The answers that they were able to give us was absolutely amazing. It tells us that they are preparing themselves for something to happen. They're not sitting back and waiting and thinking, it's not gonna happen here. They are expecting something to happen because they already have a plan on everything. They have ran so many scenarios through their head. Deputy Dyer and I did North Union this year. We did classrooms. We did 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and all the high school. And we did classroom portions of it. And again, they all have plans. They all have already thought about everything that's going on in society. They all watch the news. So they're ready. So here's the biggest thing. It may not be verbal how you get notification. The alert may not be verbal. All of you hear the kids yelling and screaming on the playground and playing, correct? It's normal, right? But can you tell the difference between that and a kid screaming and running outside that something's wrong? How about a text message? Could you get a text message from a teacher telling you something's wrong? Now this school ain't as big as some of the other ones. Prime example is at some of the high schools that we teach at. We talk to the kids. Could a kid be alerted before a teacher? Yeah. Kids know a lot that's going on before teachers know what's going on, right? So a kid could get a text message. And the biggest thing we try to stress to them is, I'm telling you right now, even at the 5th grade level, 92% of the kids have a cell phone. I can tell you at the middle school and the high school level, just from teaching this year, that probably 96% of the kids have the phone on them in the classroom and check their text during the class time, if it goes off. They will literally pull their phone out of their pocket or out of their book bag and look at it.
And that was my thought too, because you said, could a teacher text a teacher? I was like, yes, but I was teaching 5th grade band just yesterday or Wednesday, and my phone was on my desk, and it went off 4 times during class, because my phone alerts me twice if I get a text, and I got 2 texts. I didn't even get up to look at it, because I was like, I'm teaching you how to play the saxophone, I'm not gonna get up and look at my phone. So, but a kid is gonna be much more likely to be like, oh, she's texting me.
They're going to. I mean, as much as teachers stress, stay off your phone, they're going to look at their phones. So you might be told by a student something's going on before you're told by the office.
Or Apple Watches, you got kids that are wearing those.
More and more, because it's so much easier to go like this than pull your phone out. And I mean, Apple Watches are amazing. They can text right back on them now, so. A good starting point. Doors locked by policy. Are you guys' door locked
Yes.
where you're teaching?
Yes.
That eliminates one
About,
step, right?
about 3/4 of them.
That's gonna say mine, aren't they? Because the gym does.
Correct.
So it doesn't matter how stressed you are, you don't have to go up and worry about locking the door because it's already locked. That's why she was so calm, cool. It's already locked. Now the truth comes out. Lights out, windows covered. Why?
Visual, can't see.
Very good. What's some ways to secure this classroom?
Barricading.
How would you barricade?
Furniture, desks, chairs, bookshelves.
This room is unique, why?
We got two doors. A lot of them have two doors.
A lot of them have 2 doors.
Which is nice for escape.
I was gonna say, that could be a good thing, right? If something is going on inside the school, easy to get out,
Yeah.
a lot easier, right? You said, you think you would know what you would do, right?
I think I know what direction I'd run if I didn't know where to run.
Okay, so let me ask, can I pick on you for a minute? Okay, so,
We enjoy picking on her.
Alright.
Thank you.
so you have a situation, go ahead.
You're buying her syrup.
I should have had syrup. It's hard. What's gonna happen?
You got some.
So, go ahead, come on up.
This is active participation.
So, where are we?
Right now, we are in Ashland.
Okay, so we're, on this one, we're out here. Where are we at on this?
Look at the chairs, Susie. You
You
don't want to talk.
I picked on somebody that's actually shorter than me. So here's the cafeteria.
That is that building. Okay, so we are right here.
So right here,
No, that can't be right.
are we over here?
No, you have to go to the bottom now.
I was
That's
gonna
the
say,
first
that's
floor.
right, it would have to be this one. You're
So-
right.
so we're in
There's
this
the
area.
hallway, So we're right here.
So if we had somebody, an unwanted person, in the library right now, which way would you run?
Out. Because the library's right out here.
Out here?
The library is right in.
The hallway.
Okay.
Right there, right in.
You come out.
We utilize that illustration.
Okay, we're gonna have to have map reading 101.
Did maps in fifth grade, Dwight?
I think so.
So you would
If
come
I go
out.
out this door, I can't get back there and get the library.
Okay. So you already have your escape route planned out, right?
If I wasn't here, where I'm at.
Where's your classroom at?
Oh, I'm out in the trailer park.
Go to
We're out.
Just so you know, we're training scenarios will be out in the trailer park.
So you're out
We
here.
just said.
Are these the boxes?
See, I'm 17.
Your room 17. So if you were told to evacuate,
I have to come out this way.
okay.
There's no other way.
So if they're in the school, you're going out and around?
Yeah, but I think I would go out this way.
Going
Is
out.
there a window on the backside of the room?
No, no.
No windows. So you've got to come out towards the
We have to
school.
go out to the doors.
Except for the
That's why we
escape
did
hatch.
Oh, yeah, because only windows for that. Yeah, we haven't done it.
That would be a question for that can happen.
Kyle, what's your Marvin escape hatches?
In the back room. Hide in the room.
So you've got an escape route already.
Yeah, we would always go out that way, that's all fields.
Okay. Are fields a good place to go? Are they bean fields or cornfields?
Depends what time of the year.
Well, now it's all, everything.
It
Well,
does.
right now there's crops and I would be safe.
If crops are in, is that a good thing?
Yes.
Yes. Even bean fields at this time of year are what? 3 foot high? Can you hide those? Absolutely. Absolutely. Barricading, provide time to plan. Here's the biggest thing. You should be planning now. If you wait to plan during the event, it's too late. You're never going to be able to barricade the room the way you should. What could be used? Desk? Chairs?
Anything that you can move.
Grab something, hold something, so you can throw something.
Yes, after you barricade, should you have something in your hand?
Yes.
What should you put in your hand?
When they come in, hydrochloric acid books.
So we're all running your room to get some.
My room, and I know Alicia's room, I don't know if anybody else's has the bar door. She doesn't have the shelf in here anymore. But a lot of us have these big white shelves, they are wider than our door. So I brought in today a ratchet strap handle around handle, so if they try to pull that, they're getting that shelf that's bigger than the door.
That's perfect.
So I don't know if anybody else has, does anybody else have that kind of a handle?
Just you and me, baby.
Just us.
But look,
But it's bigger than the door, so they can't,
Yeah.
not to say, I mean, if I get it tight enough, they're not even gonna be able to get anything in through that door.
Pre-planned though, right? She's ready if something happens, she already has what she's gonna use
It's
to
those,
bury.
those ugly white
The ones
shells,
that,
but it's wider than the door, so.
right.
So you can see this is a good starting point. You can see, like Lieutenant said, this goes back. I mean, so you'd want to barricade all the way back as far as you can. Okay? Understanding you still want to leave a path. If it's inside the school, you want to leave a path to get out. But you want it layers upon layers. So this is kind of like the bookcase you're talking about. It's wider than the door. Are they gonna be able to get it open? You're not getting that open.
I'll go back to what he said from the beginning, make sure your door is locked. Because we saw a training this summer in Cleveland with the Department of Homeland Security, and they literally went into an old school, and they had 3 different types of guns, a 9mm, a 45, and a shotgun, and they shot through doors to try to get through doors like the solid panel doors. These, if you look out here, you can see the metal around the door handle. You know, obviously the glass is easier to break, but they couldn't get through those doors. So where you all are at, make sure those doors are locked. And I know that's an extra step for you because you literally have to key it down. And that, you know, Alicia,
Mine's
Dara,
locked, it's just
Ashley,
not pulled,
yeah,
so it's locked and you just have to pull it and it's locked.
got one here.
Teacher. If you've got a door that opens out into the hall, the purpose of barricading is what? If you've got a door that opens inside, barricading is a good idea.
I open this door, okay? Then I've got to either push the stuff out of the way, or it's gonna fall in on me, okay? And then, that's what I'm saying, the layers. Somebody around the side here holding this, okay? There's different ways of getting that, but I come in here, and in training scenarios, I've had doors and tables and everything fall on me, okay? Which is fine, that's how I got this beautiful face. But you come in here, that's a distraction, and we're gonna show what distractions will do to somebody, even if they're determined, okay? My mindset is come in here, do as much damage as I can. I gotta bust the door open, now I've got 20 tables and chairs falling on me, and then I've got 14 chairs coming at me. So it's just a layer. So you open the door, it just comes right on top of it. So that's the whole idea behind it. On this here, this is bad. This is wood, this is bad, okay? Any handgun rounds go right through this, okay? So the best thing to do is to make sure it's locked. Make sure when we get the little straps, get it into the concrete here. This door is not gonna move, okay? You have to break the door apart to get in there. But then go ahead and barricade it just in case. And then have you, the kids, ready for the chairs and everything after that. So when they open out, it'll fall right on top of them, and then the next round comes on top of them.
And you're doing what? Buying time. You know that we're coming. Response time from Marysville will be quick, so you're buying time for us to get here. Okay, the more you barricade, the less likely that person is going to spend that much time trying to get into that classroom.
It also messes with their aiming, because I did a active one just like a month and a half ago, and we barricaded one, and the person they had a small little handgun, but they couldn't get to where we were hiding, because there was too much stuff in their way.
And think about it, they want to do as much damage, little amount of time, with little resistance. They have all these chairs falling on them, they look in there, they see it looks like a jungle gym they gotta climb through. They're probably gonna move on to the next room. So inform, PA system. Somebody jumps on there, you might hear everything coming over the PA system. Hopefully you do. Hopefully who's up on the PA system can tell you exactly where it's at and where they're going. Camera systems, you guys got a camera system here?
No,
No.
actually, we're working to procure, the Attorney General's office just gave a grant. We have a couple at access points, I shouldn't say none. We have a couple of access points to get into the building that go into the office to 2 different phone systems, and then it also goes down to the JEC classroom.
So if you do get camera systems, this is great. You can work out somebody to get in there to watch the monitors, get on the PA, and tell everybody where they're at, constantly. Now, I have people, we get people all the time say, well, don't you think that's gonna make them mad? Well, if they're in the school shooting up people, they're probably already mad. This is just another distraction that they have to think about, because every time they turn a corner, they're being told on, right? So it frustrates them. Many use email or Instagram. There might be a point where you can't get on the PA. Mr. Roush can't get on the PA. He can't get on the phone. He might be sending out a text. You just gotta be prepared for anything, any situation. Can all your staff use the PA system? You said that everybody get on. Does everybody know how to do it? Show me your hands if you don't.
I'm new.
Okay, so that's something that he can address. Everybody should know how to pick up that phone and go throughout the whole school.
No, he said if you don't know, I thought he said if you do know.
You don't know.
Don't know.
Most of
You don't
us
know
are
how to do
probably
it?
Well, I
not.
can train,
I mean, I've
I'll
never
show
heard
you.
it, but I could,
He's gonna show you.
It's labeled, says all page.
It says all page.
So here's a question for you guys.
So,
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna ask, since this is the informed part, could you walk us through the process of like, from the police perspective, at this point, let's say we got a call out to you, and now you got a 911 call. So can you walk us through what happens so we kind of know what to expect, in terms of an ETA, or in terms of like how many officers are gonna be here? Could you kind of walk us through that process?
Yeah, I got a slide on.
Oh, cool, never mind.
I've always wanted to be the one to tell a teacher, I got it covered. So, I was always that kid sitting in the classroom being told. So, I'll get it, I get it. One person in the classroom. Here's my question, training. So, active shooter, do you think their training skill level is high or low? Low? What about law enforcement?
Hopefully.
Better.
So, what about hit rate for an active shooter? They don't have much training, is hit rate low or high?
No.
Low?
Maybe high.
High.
they're shooting lots of crowded.
Right.
You're like, and then.
50% plus. What about law enforcement? Low. Difference is what?
You're only having targets.
These guys are shooting people that are unarmed in a mass crowd of them. We're shooting at one person, and usually if we're shooting, it's because we're being shot at. So that's the difference. So, OODA loop. So Colonel John Boyd, fighter pilot, came up with what they call an OODA loop. This is where you have to think. So if you look at a target, okay, the first thing you have to do is you have to observe that target. Then you have to orient yourself to that target. Okay? You have to decide to shoot, and then you have to shoot. Pretty easy, right?
In theory.
Not really.
Not right.
It's the same premise for basketball, for baseball, for any sports you do, you're observing what's going on. Where are you at when you're doing it?
Huh?
Act and go.
Come right here. Okay, this is unloaded. This is your weapon. This is unloaded. There's no bullets coming through it. However, right there is your. I want you to take that,
Okay.
pull your trigger, and say bang. I want you to shoot him right in the chest.
Bang.
Out.
Easy, right?
But he's not moving.
Okay. Listen, it's not gonna hurt that bad. One bag of ice took care of it last time. So when I tell you to, what I want you to do is point right in his chest and say bang. But he's gonna throw that brick.
And you know it's coming.
He's gonna hit you right in the forehead with it. Okay? So, ready?
Yeah.
Mark. Did you move?
Not really.
Your head went down.
Yeah, my
Can
head
you see
went
what
down.
you're shooting? Where'd your hand go?
Out. Down maybe?
Down?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she knew it was coming, right? She still moved?
Yeah.
How many of them had a fly going around their face? What do you do? Swat. Move your head. You get away from it. I can tell you that something's coming at your face, and I've had everybody but one. We did this same thing with the students. I had one kid in all the classes that we've done that literally did not move. And I will tell you that I just don't think he's very bright. And I can say, it was my kid. So I can tell you, I just don't think he's very bright. I mean, I have a set of keys back here by my hat on that chair. Can you pick up that set of keys?
She was trying to wear your hat earlier.
That is the set of keys that we had in our hand. If that's coming at your face, are you going to move?
Yes.
And I literally told every kid that we used, Deputy Dyer said, I told him, I said, he's going to throw these right at your head. And boy, right when they came up, he goes like that. They're like diving over the desk and everything. So we get to there, and my kid, he pulls back, and he's like this, and my kid just standing like looking at him. So I don't know. One too many hits to the head, I don't know. But what happens? As soon as she moves her head and she looks back up, what's she got to do? She got to re-observe, right? Her target, then she has to orient herself again, then she has to decide, and she has to act. Somebody comes through that door with a gun, and you're throwing books, water bottle, scissors, whatever you can throw at them. What are they doing? They're constantly breaking this up, and they have to go right back to the top. They can't pick up right here to decide, right? They have to go back, observe the target, reorient themselves before they can decide, and then shoot. So if you can break this up and keep them thinking constantly, you have a shot, right? You have a chance to do something different. Get out, counter. So this is easy to break up. Throw something. Countering. So here's the thing. Swarm. How many of you learned the swarm technique last time? That's just everybody. Everybody going at it. Here's the thing. Like, you're going to see even the kids. We even tell the kids, you know, do something. If you're going to counter, here's the biggest thing about countering. When you go hands-on, you have to go all in. It's 100%. You can't go 50%, except for today. Don't want you to get hurt, sir. Except for today. When you go after somebody, you got to go 100%. And I mean, you've got to get on there, you've got to get them pinned down, you've got to take care of the situation, and you're not going to let up until law enforcement gets there. So you've got to be 100% committed.
What do you mean, like holding on, like fighting them, like
Fighting.
like,
Punch, kick,
Jackie
fight,
Chan.
okay.
whatever you gotta do.
All right. Okay, here's my question. Okay, so I sit in church like a lot of Sundays, and I sit there and think, okay, there's lots, our church has a lot of elderly people in my service, and it's here. And I'm sitting there in the summer, and the doors are opened, and so I know that they've done some Alice things, some of the committees have. And my thing is I'm looking down my pew, and I'm thinking these people won't do that. How do I get them to do something? Like, what do you do to get some other, like, I could stand up with my hymnal, but I'm gonna be the only one.
You're not.
I think if you start shouting, yeah.
Throw your.
I think you
throw the
mean
handles.
start shouting, yeah. Is that what you do, is just start screaming and shouting and?
You react. You react. And here's the biggest thing. So social norm. What's a social norm? You do what everybody else does. Okay? If you do nothing and you sit there,
I don't think I
everybody else
would
will
do
do
that.
nothing.
I mean, I think I would tell people to run and where to go, but.
But if you do something, people are going to follow. We show a video all the time about social norm. A person's laying in London at a train yard, and it's the busiest place in London. And you have a person laying on the ground, and obviously there's something wrong with them, and people are just walking by. And it's like forever before somebody finally stops to check on them. Once that one person stops, what happens? Other people start stopping and helping, but it's that social norm. You're going to react to what other people are doing. So our biggest thing, and what Lieutenant tries to tell everybody, is do something. Okay? If you do something, other people are going to do something as well. But if you do nothing, other people are going to do nothing. So we can do the training, but it's going to be up to you to do something with it. We can tell you what to do, but I'm going to tell you now, and Lieutenant, if you agree with this or not, we can put you through the training, we can give you the skills, but there are still going to be people that don't use them. There's still gonna be people that do not wanna do anything. They're gonna freeze, they're gonna sit there, and they're gonna wait for somebody to tell them what to do. So, all I can tell you in that situation is I know they're elderly, but I can tell you that a lot of the churches that we've done have a lot of elderly people in them. And we give them the skills to do something. Sometimes it just takes that one person to do something and everybody else will jump on board. Okay? So you got an active shooter coming to school and you counter, you knock them down, guns on the ground. What should you do with that gun?
Kick it, don't pick it up, get out of there.
Why?
Because you're
You're the
the one
one.
that looks like you're the shooter.
When you guys come in, law enforcement will mistake you. You are different people when you come in. And I'm not holding that.
Yeah, I might be smiling now, Lieutenant smiling now, but
This is my problem.
this is truly like a happy time for him. But if we come to a scene like this, like I'm telling you, you will not like us at that point.
Because the teachers are the shooters sometimes too, it's whatever, but
It could, unfortunately, it could be the fifth grader.
Or
Okay.
the fifth grade teacher.
Yeah, it could be anybody.
And again, we know your guys' face, but the responding units that get here before us probably do not. February 14th, what happened? What shooting took place?
the alcohol and Valentine's.
Parkland shooting?
Oh, yeah.
Florida?
That's what I'm
Now, all over the news, right?
Yeah.
What didn't make the news? Texas, there was a convicted felon that got out of prison and was doing his community service. He was at a church that was serving the homeless food, and he was serving lunch. 100 people inside the church. Gunman comes in and starts holding everybody hostage. 911's called. The suspect is walking by, and the convicted felon that was doing what he's supposed to do, giving back to the community, hits him, knocks him down, picks up the gun. He is now standing over top of him with the gun when law enforcement arrives. Cool, calm, and collected. He's doing the right thing. But what happened? Everybody's yelling. His adrenaline is through the roof. And he heard nothing. 3 commands were given. Drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun. Which I will tell you now, and Lieutenant will tell you now, if we come to an active shooter or somebody holding a gun, if you get 1 command, you're lucky. Because if we come in and somebody's got a gun pointed at somebody, the chances are you might not even get a command. So, he got 3 commands. He got shot twice. He survived. But in his interview, he doesn't blame law enforcement. He will tell you in his interview he heard nothing. Heard nothing. Didn't hear the sirens, didn't hear anybody yelling and screaming. He heard nothing. Your adrenaline takes over at that point, and you don't know how you're going to react. So, we don't want you being the one holding the gun when we arrive. Put it under a trash can. Sit on it. If you have everybody on top of the suspect, whether it's a student, it's an adult, you got everybody piled on top of it, one person can get off and sit that gun, set a trash can on top of it, and sit right on it. Don't let it get it. Under a chair, just don't be the one holding it. You know, we always say, well, we don't want to touch it because you don't want your fingerprints on it. That has nothing to do with it. Okay? How many of you are a gun expert? There's one person in here that should raise their hand. He's been through so much training, he knows everything about guns. I'm not a gun expert. And the last thing I want to do is pick up a gun that I know nothing about. Because why? You don't know how it fires, right? Is it loaded? If I pick it up, is it going to go off? Am I accidentally going to shoot somebody? Am I going to shoot myself? If you don't know anything about guns, don't pick it up. Just put something over top of it.
What's the protocol when you get into the room if the gun is hidden somewhere? Do you start yelling at us, where's the weapon, is there a weapon?
We're gonna be yelling the whole time. No, I'm serious. And again,
I'll get into that.
Okay.
Okay.
I get that. Evacuation is the best option. In most cases, yes. If you can get out, get out. Plain and simple. We use this every day. Even off duty, we use this. I pre-plan every time I drive my wife crazy when we go out to dinner. The first thing we do when we walk in a restaurant is I look for what? Exits. I want to know where they're at. I want to know if something happens, how am I getting out? How am I getting my family out? Based on real-time information. This is why I brought you up there. So you said you would go out.
It would depend on the situation, but yeah.
Right. You said you already pre-planned where you
I
would
would
go.
go away.
So, and then you said if you didn't know where the situation was at. Here's my thing, I asked you earlier, how far could I get on this campus in 2 minutes? The whole campus, right? So what if I told you there was an active shooter in the parking lot? Going that way. What if I told you that information, I got that information 3 minutes ago? Where would you go now?
I'd still go that way.
Could you be running into the shooter?
Yeah, but
Now, how important is it to know if to evacuate based on real-time information? So that's why it's so important that we gotta communicate. Whoever's in charge has gotta let somebody know exactly where the situation is. Where they're at that point. Because if it's not real time, you don't know where you're going or what you're running into.
It'll be a lot harder for them if we're running too, right? A moving target will be a lot harder.
Absolutely,
Correct.
absolutely.
I ran right across the hallway, the shooter was shooting in my direction, I ran right across the hallway, they didn't hit me, I got out a month and a half ago when I did this. I heard it go off, I think it.
We have real-time, film footage, South America, Brazil.
Yep.
Where the exact same thing is going on.
Mhm.
The kids are running right out the door, down the hallway, the shooter is like 10
Right
feet
here.
away.
He's right inside the classroom.
Yeah,
They're running past him. He's right inside the classroom and they're running by him. 2 kids were shot in that. One in the shoulder and one in the
they both
leg
survived.
somewhere. But they both survived. Like you can see the one coming out holding the shoulder, he falls, gets up and runs. I mean,
Any bunny hunting, anybody who hunts bunnies or quail or anything, okay? You got one bunny, you're pretty good. You get off 5 bunnies, you're like, won't stand still. Okay? It's the same premise.
alright, so let's do this in a different term, since I had to change it up earlier. How many of you teach little kids? How many of you ever had a bunch of little kids on the playground and they all want your attention? Where do you go, right? It's the same thing. It's the same principle.
I have a question about like, I know you guys said, say like, the kids should go out and you should be last, but in like a panic situation, they're all looking to you like, to lead them somewhere. Like, what's my teacher gonna do? Like, in a real situation, they're not gonna, all right guys, I'm gonna take the lead on this and we're all going this way or this, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like a 6-year-old is gonna be in sheer panic and wants to follow somebody.
Yes.
Especially because I am out the back, and so we always go to the cemetery, and we're almost the first person out, and so my kids don't know where to go. They're in kindergarten, I teach kindergarten, so it's like, do I leave, do I, it's that, and I don't have an aide. which
What's
is
your
fine.
protocol say? What's your policy?
Get to the cemetery, but they don't know where to go, so I guess I'm leaving.
It almost would be better like,
I would tell you that most of the school districts have now talked about, if there's a situation, that the teacher is the first one out. And that all changed because of partnership.
I feel like you're
If I send kids out this door, right into a situation, is that a bad thing? But as an adult, as a teacher, as a leader, if I open this door up to make sure everything is safe, can I take my kids out that way? Can I yell at them to go now? Follow me?
But then you can't.
Know who's left.
Yeah, I feel like I need to be the last
It's
one
that
out,
guilty.
especially if they can follow people already going out the door, which is what we did in the drill. Cause
well,
how else are you gonna make sure they're not hiding
the older
and
kids are
scared?
gonna be faster than we are. So they're ahead of us,
And they've had more
and
training.
they've had more training.
So talk to your
Yeah,
kids.
that's what I was thinking, yeah.
What you could do is like, especially for the little ones, make it a little field trip. Go out to the cemetery and say, hey, if anything really bad happens, this is where we go.
but you
Yeah.
might not go in that direction.
Right.
You know,
That's
you
true, or
know,
you
always-
could then take them to a couple spots. I mean, just, you know.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, and listen, here's the thing. They're never too young to be taught what to do. So you can talk to them, and like Lieutenant Warden said, we can come out and talk to them while we're in uniform and say, listen, if something ever happens, your teacher is going to open this door and go out. You need to follow your teacher. You know, these are little things. Like he said, if you have them follow you to the cemetery
To our
or to the other side of the building, and you explain to them, hey, listen, if something ever happens, this is where we're gonna go. So listen, follow me, I will lead you there.
So we wouldn't get in trouble for being the leaders.
When you say in trouble,
Like, I mean,
Legal?
legal
Listen,
trouble, like if.
here's the thing, like, I'm telling you now, it doesn't matter, if something happens, everybody in school is gonna be named in a lawsuit. That's,
only you know your students, okay? Do you have somebody in your class who takes charge? Do you know little Susie Q is gonna be the one, you take them there, and then you
I can't
call them?
see any of them in a panic situation.
And that's
so
the
you
thing.
gotta lead them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, these are your students.
Lieutenant, last year, we did a rapid evac, and we had a kiddo in middle school freeze. And I remember you saying, get the masses. You may have that. But if you're stuck there in oblivion per se, and worried about that one kid and there's 15 others around, what's gonna happen? You know?
It's like guilty mom, I think, for me, it's like.
Well, it's that we think we can save everybody. I mean, we have to do what's best for the group.
And you're that mama bear. You wanna protect all your cubs. You don't wanna leave one cub behind. You wanna do whatever it takes to get them out with everybody else. That's a hard question to answer. From our standpoint, it would be, if they're going to, the only way you're gonna get them out is for you to lead, then you would be the leader. I mean, you might have a kid that stays behind in the classroom that freezes, and you're not gonna know. I know that's, you were shaking your head, that's a concern, but, I mean, how do you do that? I mean,
It kind of comes down.
training.
It kind of comes down, I can't save everybody, but I can minimize the numbers. And that's a hard objective thing for our personalities to deal with,
Mhm.
but that's the analytical, logical thing.
But you can literally train. I mean, if you have downtime, train. Take the kids on a field trip. Show them where they're gonna go. Think about your classrooms. What is your best way to get out? Again, play the what if game. When you get here in the morning, play the what if game. If something happened here, I would do this. If something happened here, I would go here. Don't be afraid to play that. Know where your exits are, no matter where you're at in the school. And don't do just your classroom. Play the what if game if you're in the cafeteria, if you're in the gym. Play that what if game. Rally points. So here's the thing about rally points. They're ever changing. It depends on the situation. And we can tell you, hey, listen, okay, if something happens, you're taking your classroom and you're going to the cemetery. Is that probably going to be realistic? Probably not. Okay? Because you're going to get out, the kids are going to go everywhere. You might get out and decide to go somewhere else because it just doesn't feel right going that direction. So those are ever changing. Who needs this training and why? All staff. And the people that need it the most are the ones you're going to rely on, that we're going to rely on. When we get here and we got to go into a building for a situation, custodial staff is the ones that we're going to rely on because they know the school better than anybody. They know what's normal, what's not normal. Students. I'm a firm believer in this, that students need to go through the ALICE training. We've seen it. We've seen it. Lieutenant can contest to this, that it's always been a big argument if you want to teach these kids what to do.